what's your one down for this week?
Yo, the best ever street fight in AEW. That was a trash doodle match, man.
Did you just try to Millie Rock?
Yeah, I tried to, but then I was watching myself. And
I was like, are you trying to Millie Rock?
Yeah, I can't Millie Rock on no block. Yeah, I'm terrible. Yeah.
Hey guys, it's Tessa Blanchard, and you're watching the Jobber Tears podcast.
Jobber Tears podcast. We hold it down. They know what's now.
From the HR.
Jobber Nation, we are under day 33 of quarantine here in New York. As always, I'm Janelle from HR. Here with Mr. Black. I do want to give a special shout out to the king of theme songs, Mr. Montesi, for joining Mr. Black earlier this week on our Instagram Live. So thank you so much for participating in that. Hopefully,
I miss y'all niggas. Man.
I know it's getting to the point where I was like, I just physically miss my friend.
Yeah, I miss y'all. It's so weird. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I be around people, but it's not the same.
No,
like,
it's definitely not the same.
People are just mad depressing. Like, I realize like a lot of people cannot hold conversation properly. Like, people are trash. Shout out to my son, a Marquis of Prolific joining me on Tuesday, Mr. Black show. It's always lit when me and that Black King talk.
Oh, what y'all talked about?
Girls, life, simple stuff.
He was talking about how he still want to, hit up his neighbor.
Nah, we didn't talk about that.
Oh, so you didn't talk about girls then? So
I don't think I have that.
Move your camera. Your camera.
Who?
Yours.
What's wrong with it?
Yeah, we'll only see like half of you.
Can you see me, Janelle?
Yeah, I can see the both of you fine.
Yeah, mad fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, now you're better.
Oh, okay. I was like, I see the both of y'all very fine.
Oh.
But yes, we are still under quarantine here in New York and pretty much
until May 15th. Yep.
But we're gonna make the best out of it. We're still gonna record. We're still gonna check on each other, and please make sure to check on one another. That is the most important thing. I can tell everybody is just you send a wellness check to those that mean something to you. Whether you haven't talked to somebody in years, sending that good old like, hey big head, wellness check. But what have you guys been up to this past week?
Pretty much me. I just been working, chilling. You feel me? That's it. Nothing. Just been working, going to work, home, cooking. I've been cooking a lot more dishes. Perfecting my craft in the chef.
What you've been cooking?
I'm over here cooking like pork chop. I cooked broccoli rice. I made homemade mashed potatoes.
You use actual potatoes?
Yes.
Check you out, Chef Boyardee. So, Wilkins, what have you been up to the past week?
Absolutely nothing.
What have you been watching?
What did I start watching now? Since quarantine.
I watched this past week.
Yo, come on, son. Yo, you mad nasty, son.
What?
You just burped on recording.
I was drinking water.
So say excuse me.
I didn't burp. I did not burp.
You did, but okay. So I started watching Insecure. I saw the last episode of Insecure.
Okay. Did everyone watch Insecure?
Yeah, I watched it.
Okay, great. So we can talk about it real quick.
Okay, good. Yeah,
so,
I'm open.
Fans burping on the screen and shit.
Listen, we at home. This is the in-home version of the Job of Tears podcast. So, what is everyone's one takeaway from the first episode of the new season of Insecure?
Molly, like Molly's mixy, son. Like Molly is very judgmental. Like Molly's the type of person, like she does reckless stuff, but then she don't see, like she want everything for her to just be perfect. It can't, like it has to be a certain type of way for her. If it's not a certain type of way, she doesn't like it. Like calling like Issa mixy because she's still friends with that girl, and that girl showed her mad love and support at her event. Why not be friends with her? And and the fact that she called Issa mixy, I was just like,
wasn't it messy?
Mixy?
It was messy.
No, she called her messy.
She's not messy for that. Same thing, mixy, messy, same thing. But I don't think that she's messy. Yeah.
All right, so Wilkins, what's your one takeaway from this week's Insecure episode?
It's typical friends growing apart. No, it's not a big deal. She's Molly's Molly, Issa's Issa. You know what I mean? Like
I agree.
That's how friends are, and sometimes you grow apart from your friends. I don't think nobody was wrong in a situation because Molly had a point because Issa does like drama, and she likes a little messiness.
Yeah, but that was the kind of like that situation when she was befriending now Lawrence knew Shorty.
Yeah.
Everybody was kind of unbeknownst to it. Like nobody knew like the dots didn't connect them to this episode.
No, that situation was not
Bluetooth disconnected. Bluetooth pairing.
That situation was not messy per se.
Mm-hmm.
But Molly also takes out her problems on other people because she was dealing with with the Asian cat.
Yeah.
And I think
true.
And I think that was one of the issues, but I just think these people are growing apart.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Pretty much.
That's true. I mean, it was very weird at first, but I was rooting for the fat nigga from TSA that Issa was snatching on the first episode.
Of course.
Because not only did he have a job with benefits, but he was loyal. Yep. He came and did security for her little event.
Yep. Your kind of man. You know,
she gotta keep this nigga in the top 3.
You know, like he like Hennessy. You know.
Yo, let me tell y'all how somebody this week definitely tried to proposition me with Henny and hookah.
Of course.
And I had to respectfully decline. Like I was just like, no.
Yo, what's that new Henny that everyone's drinking? Henny Select or something?
I mean, that's not new, but you know,
like,
people just getting hip to it.
No. I'm like, how much is the Henny Select? Like, how does it taste? Because I heard that it tastes good.
Well, I mean, once you get past like the Henny, like regular Henny, like you do black, you do privilege, you do select, you do white, you do black, like it gets smoother. So it's a pretty smooth taste.
It's how many times it's how many times it's been filtered and distilled, and how long it's been aged.
Yeah. So, but I mean, you know, a little bit of Henny and love does go afar. I will say.
Henny's absolutely disgusting.
It's not absolutely disgusting.
It is the most. Because it is nasty as shit. It is like the lowest form of cognac. It is the lowest form of cognac.
Henny is nasty.
Don't disrespect Henny though.
Henny Douce tastes way better.
Douce is a smoother taste.
It tastes better.
It's been done a whole lot better.
and then you know, Ho's name is on Douce, so you know, it's a little better.
Douce is way better.
But what else has been going on in like pop culture?
These DJ battles that everyone's talking about.
Yo, so do you think 50 Cent is going to accept Jaws' challenge?
No. Yo, honestly, just for
Jaws has more hits.
No.
No, wait. I need people to stop sleeping on 50, son.
No, it's not that.
Wait. Ja has a lot of hits, but I think more of his hits came in a very small time frame. So people think it's a bunch of hits. Like, you forget, 50 was featured on mad shit. He got mad G-Unit hits. Like, Game's first album is 50 Cent.
Yeah.
So he can go off that shit. That shit got mad hits.
Yeah. So wait. I have a question. So when it comes to this whole rap battle thing, this whole battle thing, right? Can you use songs that you produce? Because 50 was on a lot of songs, a lot of tracks, and he murdered it. So does that include features too?
That's what I'm saying.
So the thing is, I guess it kind of depends on what the rules are. Because you had Sean Garrett and The Dream, which I thought was outside of Sean Garrett being disgusting and nasty on camera. They focused on songs they produced and written.
Oh,
listen! Right here, I'm gonna name you some 50 Cent hits right now.
But do the same for Ja. Do the same for Ja.
Hold on. In the Club, PIMP, Just a Little Bit, 21 Questions, I'm the Man, Many Men, AO Technology, Window Shopper, Best Friend, Disco Inferno, Patiently Waiting, Out of Control, Hustler's
Still
Ambition,
Will Kill,
Wangster, Can't Leave Him Alone, Hate It or Love It, When Rain It Pours, Big Rich Town. That's his song too. I would be a head boy. If I can't.
But I will say, Get Rich or Die Trying is one of my favorite movies of all time. I really don't care what anybody says.
That movie is so good, but so trash.
So good.
It's so trash though.
Like, I wish it was on Netflix.
I'm a gangster, grandpa. I'm a gangster, grandpa.
But now you gotta pull up Josh shit.
Hold on. Let me look up 50's. Let me look up 50's like overview. Hold on, wait.
But I mean, I kind of hope they do, because I feel like that'll officially end the beef.
That is true.
The thing is, though, Ja Rule's hits are more like for everybody.
Yeah.
The thing with Ja is Ja did a lot more crossover than 50 did.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So he has more crossover feel. So his hits feel like hits. But like...
No, but they were. Like, my man was featured on fucking Rainy Days with Mary J. Blige. Come on.
That is true.
Listen,
Come on.
We need to not shit on 50.
I'm not shitting on 50. You know what's crazy? My mom used to fucking love 50 Cent. Like, I bought her 50 Cent's book. I bought her
What?
Like, my mom was so heavy on 50 when he first came out. So I will always respect 50. But I'm just saying, Ja had more crossover hits.
No, 50 did. I think 50 did in the short time frame. He did. Because you forget, like, he was on Mad June and stuff.
But Ja was on Mad Fat Joe shit, Ashanti shit, Lloyd shit.
No. But the thing about it, he got mad songs, son.
Mad songs. Literally, he could play hits off his first album and killed. And
that's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, ultimately, the soundtrack to Get Rich or Die Trying.
Think about it. Like, I could just imagine 50 right here just doing it. He go, come on, man. And I go, Many Men. Let him play Many Men. Everybody gonna go crazy. Many Men. Oh my God, that's my joy. Come on.
Wait, what's your favorite 50 Cent song?
Oh man, I got a couple. Many Men. That's my all-time favorite. Toy Soldier. You know. Toy Soldier. Still Will Kill. Ayo Technology. And what's that? Hail Love It Unit remix. No. Sorry, My Buddy. That's my joy. Woo! with the bootleg graphics. Yo, son, that was my joint. Dang.
So, Wilkins, what's some of your favorite 50 Cent songs since y'all Queens natives?
You got Many Men. I
Many
Still
Men.
Kill.
See, classic.
AO Technology. Get Money. Yo, 50 Cent is the beast.
Get Money. I do like Get Money.
I think Job from Queens too, isn't he?
Yeah,
You said what?
Isn't Job from Queens?
Yeah.
He is.
Nah, I Whip Your Head Boy is by far.
Come on, B. Come on, B. Come
it's
on.
It's by far
B.
one of my favorite songs.
Come on, listen. He could kill them with When It Rains and Pours. Oh my God. Many Men, Rains and Pours, the combo. Right there, Josh finished. Come on, man.
Hold on. Yo, 50 Cent has 40 songs on the Billboard Top 100.
How much does Ja have?
Songs. He has 4 songs. Hold on, wait. Let me finish. He has 4 songs that are #1 hits on the top on the Hot 100. The top 100 is not the.
Teach These Devils.
He has 13. Hold on. He has 13 songs on the top 10 hit list. Top 10.
Hitmaker.
And then he has hold on, let me see. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 songs to make it top 5. Like, I need to stop sleeping on my
Nobody's
boy, son.
sleeping on 50. Like, I think 50 gets a lot. First of all, I think 50 gets a lot more respect than Ja Rule will ever get. So it's not about sleeping. I mean, I'm just would be interested to see the back and forth.
Now let's look at your boy Ja. Look at your boy Ja. He has 0 #1 hits. 0. Only 9 songs on the top 10 hit list, and 17 songs to make it to the Hot 100. Put this nigga to sleep, son. Put this man to sleep.
It's done,
son.
B.
But that's
why
50 ain't even entertaining this nigga. That's terrible.
Put this man to sleep. Why are we even talking about this?
Well, because so last question, and we'll start talking about some wrestling shit. So outside of what could be the 50 Cent versus Ja, what's 2 other people you would love to see go head to head with their music?
Dang.
T-Pain and Jeremiah.
What?
Nah.
Don't sleep on Jeremiah. He got hits.
You right,
He got hits.
Jeremiah's on a lot of feature shit.
I think
so it's T-Pain.
But T-Pain had his own albums and shit. Like, no.
So did Jeremiah.
How about this? I think what will definitely break the internet is The Dream versus Neo. Come on, B. Niggas got hits for days, B.
But you know it's crazy. Them niggas done helped each other out. It's ridiculous. So they would be battling each other with each other's shit.
Exactly.
They all wrote on the same Beyonce songs.
And the first 10 songs are gonna be Beyonce songs. A piece.
She's like, come on, B.
I don't know.
You don't know how the Dream talks.
I'm trying to think. I mean, no, but the Dream and Sean Garrett, the Dream was coming out here before. I was like, oh my God, I loved it. It made me realize how much I love the Dream. Like, I was just like, yo, I really love the Dream. Like,
yeah, the Dream is that dude, man. You know,
the Dream's amazing.
He's phenomenal. Like, and he's one of those. Honestly, I would go Kanye versus Dream on the producer side.
I would do Kanye versus Pharrell. Fuck it. Fuck it. Kanye versus Pharrell.
Oh, shit.
But the thing about it, Pharrell would bring back some throwbacks, like some Noriega shit. What? Still my favorite Noriega song. Still one of my favorite.
Wait, fucking 10
songs.
words. Has 10 words in the chorus.
What?
That is obnoxious. But I don't know. I mean, you said what?
I don't know.
You said M. Kid Poppy.
All I heard was Poppy, and I was like, wait, what? But I think with Timbaland and Swiss Beats are doing, they're doing it for the culture. They understand the times that we're in, and I think we all appreciate, music at a time like this. I think it's really dope that they've been able to do, these battles and stuff like that.
It's been tough.
Because they just had what, Little John and who?
Little John and who was it?
Who was it?
I know they had RZA and DJ Premier.
Yeah, and if you're into like DJ music, like that was probably the one to watch. Because if I didn't watch it, because I don't really do DJ shit, I'd be like, oh my god.
Well, it was a lot of old school hip hop.
Yeah.
It was like early '90s, mid '90s hip hop that they played, which was good.
Which is good. But all right,
think that directors you think like directors should do that? Go for move. Like, come on, B. Like Spike Lee versus like something. What's that dude's name? Liam Parker. Like
Billy Parker. I didn't talk about the dude.
Will Packer.
Will Packer. Like they're like, come on, B. Come on, B.
Oh, come on, but that's That's an easy like.
Spike Lee would destroy
him.
It would have to be like
Malcolm X alone.
Yeah, that is true. Is true.
Is a TKO.
It would have to be Spike Lee versus John Singleton. Now that would be a battle.
Yeah, but I still think Spike would come out on top.
Spike Lee would win, but
So those are things to think about. But all right, guys, let's jump into some wrestling talk. It has been a very, very dark week in wrestling. It's been super difficult, I think, for any wrestling fan, whether you're casual, hardcore, whatever you are. Wrestling had definitely taken a hit this week. I do want to start off by, unfortunately, talking about the passing of one of the best ring announcers of all time. Mr. Howard Finkel passed away. It is such a loss to the wrestling community. Like, growing up listening to Howard Finkel, every WrestleMania, you look forward to hearing that voice. Like, he was the voice of wrestling for over 20 years. So real quick, guys, what's one like memory or moment with Howard Finkel in it that you guys remember the most?
I have to say with CM Punk, bringing him back.
Survivor Series 2011, when Howard Finkel became CM Punk's personal ring announcer against Alberto Del Rio. That was pretty good.
That's mine as well. That was a moment. That was a moment because it was very nostalgic at that point. So that was dope.
I think that definitely tops the list. I think one other thing for me is definitely Howard Finkel, once as the older he got, the less active he got into WWE stuff. But I think the past, I would say like 10 years, not recently, but him doing the Hall of Fame announcements during WrestleMania. The class.
Yeah.
I think that for me always was like, it always gave that nostalgia feel, but also it gave Howard Finkel that WrestleMania moment that he always was a part of. So that's one thing I can always appreciate when it comes to him. He's going to be very much missed. Like, I just think there would be no Greg Hamilton without a fucking Howard Finkel. Like, I'm sorry. Like, so I think it's a really, really, sad and unfortunate, loss to the wrestling community. But, our prayers and everything go out to his family and things like that. But also, let's just jump into all the other things that's been going on in a dark week of wrestling, where there's been tons of layoffs and furloughs in the WWE. The past, like, I would say 2 days, a lot of people have been released. A lot of people are pointing fingers to. So let's just start off by, what are your thoughts on the layoffs? And also, out of those layoffs, who would be the top person to kind of come out of the ashes after, things kind of get back to some type of normalcy, in our country?
I, Dang. I don't even know. I don't know. Dang. Anytime to think. Go ahead.
So with the layoffs and the furloughs, it kind of hit differently for me because wrestling was something that we all had that seemed to not get affected by it in some type of way.
Yeah.
Because it felt safe. Even though we couldn't go see a wrestling match live, we could still watch it on TV, and the wrestlers were still working. It was like another universe that wasn't 100% affected by COVID-19.
Right.
So when yesterday happens and you're getting like legit every 20 minutes, you're getting a new name that's being thrown onto the list of that's being let go or furloughed per se. You're like, what the fuck? And
Do we have a new list yet or no?
No, so what they said, the main roster is done. There might be a couple of NXT people that might be let go, but that's happening. And
okay, that's not bad.
You start realizing how human these people are.
Mm-hmm.
Drake Maverick puts up a video. Miss Jenkins from NXT, like she just got signed.
Yeah.
And she even said, I think she said she lost her brother or cousin to the
Her
virus.
brother, and so she tweeted. She said, MJ Jenkins had tweeted saying that COVID-19 unfortunately took her brother-in-law, but also took her dream job at the same time. And those are the kind of things that it does, like you said, it just puts you back into reality, because I think that's the one thing we all can appreciate about wrestling. It puts us in this fantasy world that we're like, all right, we don't have to worry about what the fuck's going on outside outside of your house and outside of the world. But then when what's affecting outside is starting to affect your fantasy world, I think that's a different type of level of like loss that I think all of us as fans are feeling.
I mean,
yeah,
even
it took a I think it's that, like you just said, but it also, like, we also got to understand this is the business part of the world.
Mm-hmm.
That wrestling isn't just a fantasy world; it's real life.
It's
and
big business.
It's ridiculously big business. And WWE is a publicly traded company, and they have people on the board that want certain things done, and they had to cut a lot of things out. And people are saying Vince is a fucking ruthless person. He's a horrible person. Now he's just doing his job,
right?
And he has to cut money. And Tommy Dreamer did a video about this whole thing. He said one thing that people need to understand. They lost about $30 million because they couldn't
do Tampa.
They couldn't
lost
do Tampa.
Over $20 million because they could not do WrestleMania at the Raymond James Stadium. And people need to understand that.
So they say they lost a ton of money, and they had to make the cuts, and it sucks. It sucks. It absolutely sucks.
I mean, when you look at it, I was going to say, when you look at it in the sense of, like, they have enough money. I think someone did the math, and they said WWE have enough money where, like, even if they didn't cut nobody, and with all the losses, if no house shows came back, they'd be good for a while because they have a lot of money in the reserve. But hold
on. It's not about WWE as a company. It's the board
let me
members.
finish. Yes, let me finish.
That's what I was telling you.
Yeah, so it's just like I've been saying for the past couple of shows, for months, and probably a whole year, WWE is not for us. It's not for the hardcore fans. It's for the money makers. It's in big business. The fact that Vince is in talk with the president, the fact that his money stretched so far to the point where he said now wrestlers are essential workers. Come on, B. The fact that Trump have him figure out how we're going to get business back open in his cabinet talking about that, come on. WWE is big business at the end of the day. Like you said, they have stockholders that they got to see the profit margin. They have to see that. But if they don't, the stock will start to go down.
See, but I think the thing, and that's the one thing I feel like I've been saying over and over for the past like 48 hours, 24 hours, is people, once again, the situation is unfortunate. And, as someone that experienced that same situation where you come into the one day you have a job and the next day you don't, unfortunately, as a company, when there is no cash flow, which for those that do not know, if there's no money coming in, so with WWE not being able to do WrestleMania, not being able to do house shows, not be able to sell merch the way they typically would sell merch, not being able to have avenues of revenue where you can have constant cash flow, you're going to have to strategically budget things differently. Where you have to let people go. And that's just, and it's not even just a big business thing. That's just business in general, like restaurants, fucking airlines, every single thing that depends on cash flow, incoming money. You have to realize and understand that when that stops, no matter how big the business is or how much money they may have in the reserve or in the savings, if you don't have that, you are liable to then start doing some financial damage to the things that you do have saved, because we don't know what tomorrow's going to hold. We don't know what 6 months is going to hold. And I think these little things, and it's not to say that all the people that got laid off won't come back. You know what I mean? We don't know those scenarios either. But for there to be a WWE in 6 to 12 months, these kind of things have to happen. And I think as fans, we have to kind of take a step back instead of pointing like this is Vince's fault, that he's the bad guy. This is just the way that the world is going right now.
But the thing is about that, like what a lot of people don't know is whoever signed, like a lot of them was like the Gallows of the world. They said they got basically like a buyout. So it's not like they just let them go out no money and say, I'm going to buy the rest of your contract, because they are still on the contract.
Right. So, and even they said the NXT people that got let go are going to get paid for 30 days. And then they are able to do whatever they want, which once again, as a company, they don't owe them that. They don't have to do
that. So there's a silver lining in every situation.
Mm-hmm.
One thing first. You mentioned about, and you said it yourself, Janelle, where they talk about they have money set aside. That money set aside is not for right now.
Right.
It's usually for other projects that they have going on.
Yeah.
Number two, when it comes to this whole situation, is that they had to make a power move with Trump, because if they didn't do any more live shows, their contract with NBC was gone.
Yeah.
That's legit. Yeah. What was said. They had a couple. They could have done a couple of recordings throughout the contract, maybe for the year, but they were set in the contract that if they don't do any more live shows, they don't get paid anymore. So, and I know what people are gonna say is, oh well, it's just money being lost. No. You got to pay for wrestlers' contracts. You have to pay for travel.
The fucking ring crew.
You got to pay for so much stuff. And one of the things is I've learned about doing the podcast, and we had to learn, is about you got to stretch some dollars out different types of ways.
Mm-hmm.
And people are quick to call them an evil empire, but you just said that 30 days they're getting paid. They had no choice. Every company is being hurt right now. Everybody. Now, where's the silver lining in a situation? Because you asked the question. Yes. Who comes out on top? You have a bunch of people who had names in WWE who are going to make a killing in the independent scene.
Yep.
Let's be honest. What just happened this past week is about to be the golden era of the independent scene in pro wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We just see that, because now everybody's at home working on their craft. The people who need to work on their craft.
Yes, because like if you are a love a lover of the business and you are an independent wrestler and you are not taking this downtime to recreate your craft and to refocus and to do things, so when the unpause button gets pressed again and
Unpause.
when independent shows start revving up and you're not ready, you gonna miss that curve. You gonna miss it.
It's gonna miss the curve, but it also is the universe low-key biting WWE in the ass because they were hoarding so many talent for so long.
Yeah.
Somebody did say that. Somebody was like, yo, they were actually talent heavy. So them letting go some people.
So you had 200 people on your roster like some WCW days who weren't doing anything. And you were doing that on purpose. You were doing that on purpose. And I understand your point of view, but at the same time, you cut the fat off. No disrespect to the time, because Leo Rush, I don't think should have been let go. Rusev, no. The Good Brothers, no. But at the same time, you give these guys chances to do other shit. And they get to spend time with their family. They have nothing to worry about. And like you said, they got a buyout. So they'll keep the money and figure out their next move.
Yeah.
The Good Brothers The Good Brothers have a name.
Listen, we're gonna have to email him. We gotta try to get him on the show. Low key.
Yo, listen. No, wait. Hold on. Josiah actually came on the Black Show, on Mr. Black Show. He actually chimed in.
Yeah, because he popped up when Montez was on, and I saw that. But no, he needs his own episode. Like his own.
Yeah, so it's this is the silver lining in the situation. Like we're all being affected by this.
Right.
Like we don't know what tomorrow holds, and it's the business part of things that sucks. And I'm not gonna completely destroy WWE because all big businesses are doing this.
Yeah, I can't take the people that are so quick to just shit on WWE, like, and then be like, oh, all these people are gonna get signed to AEW. If you think for a second that AEW is safe for what is going on right now, you're living in a dream world. And just
they can't sign anybody. They
don't have the money. And guess what? Spoiler alert. If you are not salary at AEW, you're not getting paid right now. Unless you wrestling. Period.
And that's only certain people.
Exactly.
That's only certain people.
That is only a handful of people. So don't my wish for the wrestling community, because yesterday it was a bit much, and I just was like, I gotta remove myself, because I was like, all right, y'all doing the most. Because it's like, listen, this is everybody's livelihood, but guess what? We're all in the same boat. And it doesn't excuse anybody, because we're all human and we're all living in a pandemic. So what today may bring, it may not be, once again, it may not be like this in 6 months. God willing. And things will get better. And the economy will open. And jobs will be reopened. You know what I mean? Like, I can't deal with that. We're living in a time where the negativity is not welcome. Like, don't.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna be negative, I don't want to hear it. Nope. Like, I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to hear it.
Just like my brother said, you know, like, I look at all the silver linings, the blessings that bringing forth all these people. Now, let's really break down some of my favorites, people who got released. Imagine seeing Rusev versus Yaya. Oh man! Rusev Day versus Yaya Day.
Yo,
I can't do with you. Darius Lockhart versus Leo Rush, man. Come on, dog. Come on. Fantasy matches right here. And people want to see them. And guess what? Like my brother said, when everybody come out of this, we want to go see the wrestling event. Hog, come on. Master P is a businessman. That first Hog show is going to be lit. Come on. Not people we could bring in. Impact's going to be popping. Like,
yo, Impact right now, low-key is popping.
Right. Like AEW, like they can bring in people in and out. That's the beauty about AEW. New Japan. Come on, B. Come on. This is a blessing. Another one of my favorites, Zack Ryder. The amount of stuff he could do for like an up-and-coming indie brand, he could really help them out.
Yeah, he already got his school. He already got his school.
I know that.
He already has his school, but he's gonna sign to AEW.
Yeah. Right. And like, yo, Zack Ryder.
Let's keep it a buck.
Like, Zack Ryder is literally, in my eyes, one of the perfect packages in wrestling. But I just feel like he's gonna sign AEW because Arn loves him. the way that Arn was talking about him on his podcast, said that he's a guy that put in his heart, had to go to work every single day. And Arn was very high on him. So like you said, Cody's high on him. I can't wait to see what my boy Zack Ryder's gonna do. Can't wait.
You gotta look at it like this wasn't nothing personal because of how long some of those people have been with the company.
Look at what's his face? Austin's favorite referee. Been with the company since 1989, since I've been born. You know what I mean? Like,
so this was something that had to be done on their part. And I'm in an email thread. One of the guys is in an email thread. He was just like, "Yo, this is fucked up, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Yo, this is how everybody's dealing with this." And I'm gonna get my economics. I minored in economics in college. Big business keeps this country afloat. Nobody wants to admit that.
Yeah.
And you know what the funny part is? If there's one person that could get the economy a little hump, it is Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Like, because if people want to front Vince, save the wrestling business. Say what you want about the man, but he saved the territories. Period. He might have.
You know what's funny? I wake up at like 4:30 every morning randomly.
I don't know why.
And
that's ridiculous.
I do the same thing too.
You guys are ridiculous.
And I was watching a George South interview, and shout out to George South. That's one of like all the John Batista South like trainer.
Yeah.
And he said what you said. He said Vince McMahon saved wrestling in some way. And then he mentioned something else, how a lot of people were saying that he ruined wrestling because he went to the territories, whatever, blah blah blah. He gave these niggas money, so he didn't do anything fucked up. It's just that the story being told about him later on, it sounds messed up.
It's always it's always about the narrative, and the narrative on Vincent Kennedy McMahon is always going to be negative. But at the end of the day,
until he dies, God forbid, until he dies, that's what he'll get.
When you look at the history and you look at wrestling and where it is today, it would not be anywhere without Vincent Kennedy McMahon. The end. Like,
I agree.
But one of the things that you mentioned is that the reason why, because he's looking at a year ahead.
Yeah.
We can't afford to keep these people a year ahead, so we can't keep paying them. We can't afford to keep paying them.
Especially we're not gonna, and it's sad to say, especially if we're not gonna use them. And
let's be honest, nobody mentions this part. Executives got pay cuts.
Executives got
nobody says that. Nobody mentions that. Executives got pay cuts as well.
Like every part of the business got hit. Period.
So that means 70 probably got a pay cut. Triple H probably got a pay cut. We don't know that for a fact.
But you know how people are. Oh, so what? They took a pay cut, but they still got their job.
But a pay cut, you don't understand, that could severely damage someone's livelihood.
They can afford it.
If you're on, let's say $55,000 a year thing, if they cut 25% of that, that's a whole different tax bracket for you.
Listen. This is not me saying that. I understand that. But I'm saying how I have to react.
But the thing is, that's the truth. That's the truth, though, because I went through that. 50% of my pay got cut. That's a huge difference.
Listen, even, and what people don't realize, even a 5% decrease in your average paycheck, that shit adds up and that shit affects you. Like, period.
In the long run, it does, yeah.
At the end of the day, I mean, once again, these things are unfortunate, but once again, with the climate that we're living in, they are necessary. So that, in all honesty, we can keep our fantasy world. Like that at the end of the day, that's just really what it is so that in a year or two, when things kind of like, we're like, the corona is a thing of the kind of past, hope God willing, that we're like, well, if they didn't do that then, we wouldn't have what we have now. And that's just kind of what it is.
A lot of wrestling fans live in a big bubble.
Yeah, but this is why we encourage everyone to listen to the Jobber Tears podcast because we are non-biased and we keep everything on a straight and narrow platform. There you go.
Oh, no. Because some people with coons.
You know what? Let me tell you, somebody DM'd me the other day, and it's somebody that does a podcast. I don't remember which one it is, but he DM'd me for some advice. He wanted to know how he should go about talking about like racism in wrestling, or like people that have racist things to say about wrestling or whatever. And I told him, I said, listen, I said, yo, if you only knew the type of heat we got talking about Tessa, I said, at the end of the day, you keep true to yourself and you keep true to your word. And that will go a long way because guess what? We still here, regardless of what everybody's opinions are. We're honest about our opinions. And we come with facts.
Yeah.
So but let's move on. Another thing in wrestling this week's Dark Side of the Ring episode featured no other than Jimmy Superfly Snuka. So, gentlemen, what were your thoughts on what were your takeaways? I'm done. What were your takeaways from this week's Dark Side of the Ring episode?
Honestly, it felt like a real murder mystery. Like, who done
Say it again. Say it again for those louder in the back that can't hear you because they don't like to admit Jimmy Snuka is a murderer. Go ahead.
Like, yo, it felt like a real murder mystery. Like, yo, he really did it. Like, he really did it. And Vince saved him.
Vince is a
They
G,
paid
my
them
nigga.
off. They paid them off.
Nigga, Vince is a G.
Because the crazy thing about
let
it,
me
the
tell
guy
you,
that,
they paid them off.
like the guy that, like the guy who was in charge, the way that he was covering up everything, he was just like, well, we gotta go.
Yeah, the white dude, he was like, "Oh, I've never heard of that story. I don't know what you guys are talking about."
But nah,
yes, you do.
That Samoa dude, I felt bad.
The Tonga kid.
Yeah, because he was like, I never heard that story.
Yo, because guess what? My guy was in the car. He said the real story. And if you did not listen to him, then you didn't get that. He was in the car with them riding to Allentown.
He snitched without snitching.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bruh, when I heard that, I was like, my nigga, you just snitched on yourself.
You just told them that you was like, guess what? She didn't get killed on the side of the road. She didn't fall because nobody got out of the car.
Nobody got out of the car.
Damn hotel.
And when he snitched, he was just like, yo, interview's over. He's like, damn.
He caught himself.
Like, damn, interview's over.
So there's a couple of things. My brother mentioned it. He said like it felt like I was watching the ID channel. On some real talk.
Yeah.
It felt like I was watching the ID channel. Now another thing. The way they swept this shit under the rug.
Hello.
Because if you remember, Nancy's family put up a picture of the New York Post with the and on the front page it was Snuka being a killer, whatever. I remember seeing that newspaper, and I read the article, and I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. And then I remember it being on the news because I watched it, because as a wrestling fan, it caught my eye, and I watched it, and then when he passed, when they were like, oh, he can't come to court because he's like messed up in the head, I think it's because he has Alzheimer's or dementia, I was like, holy shit. Then when he passes away, boom, you never hear about it again.
No, because there ain't nobody to charge. You can't charge nobody that's dead.
But the thing about it, what makes it crazy to me is that nobody within the wrestling community spoke about it. Because it was out. And then as fast as it came out, is as fast as it disappeared. It just gives you the power of like WWE and Vince.
Money.
Like this week in general showed how much of a mob boss type of person Vince McMahon is in the WWE. Because, like you said, it was literally evidence that he did this. No disrespect to the Snuka family in general, but I'm talking about Jimmy only. I'm not talking about, and I want to get this straight. Like, to me, that has nothing to do with this.
Yep, thank you.
Tamina has nothing to do with this.
Yeah, because ain't nobody. She was a child when her daddy was out here slanging and banging somebody else, and he was married.
Yes, with like 3 kids, I think.
With four.
Sorry,
including her.
So now it has nothing to do with her, especially the fact that she's getting the best push of her career right now, and this is on TV. But that's a whole different conversation. It's just the fact that the evidence was there that he did this.
The autopsy report said it. Come on.
And then,
you should investigate this as a homicide.
And then you
bars.
But then
no,
has a history of whooping this woman's butt.
Yeah.
Of abusing
and being on cocaine.
Mad coke. Mad coke.
Yeah, so when Buddy Rogers, when the guy said Buddy Rogers requested to Vince, like, I don't want to ride with him, I said, oh, he got a problem. Like,
and the fact that what's the name when he was fighting? What's the dude he was fighting? That he jumped off the cage onto him. What's the dude's name?
Don Mrblacc.
Don Mrblacc. In my eyes, he represented WWE. He represented what Vince was says. Let the show keep on going on. Right then he definitely played that role in that documentary I was watching.
It's about the money. It's about the money.
Yeah.
It was Don. Don was like, yo, listen, it had nothing to do with me.
I ain't do it.
I wasn't there. Like,
Jimmy's the hottest thing in town.
Yeah.
Jimmy's the hottest thing in town.
I'm just trying to make $1.
And I'm trying to get these checks because I'm trying to ride this wave with Jimmy.
But the one thing that I have to say about Vince, and it will definitely show you that no one talks about, Vince is loyal to the people who are loyal to him. Because
100%.
Oh, absolutely.
Even after all these
100%.
After Snooker went to WCW, ECW, like Snooker was in the video game still. Snooker got to the Hall of Fame. He put Snooker in that match. He looked out for his daughter. Yo, he remembered people who make money for him.
His son was wrestling and could not wrestle a lick and still had a fucking job. And became tag team champion. Like, what?
Yeah.
It's listen. I like that rule, B. That's that mob boss shit. You in the family. We take care of the family.
Yo,
honestly,
listen. This is messed up because let's think about it. Hold on. Let's look about who should have been released. Who got released? Ain't no third generation on that list.
Yep.
Nope. Not a Curtis, not a Bo.
Yep. Yep.
And Zack Ryder, and I know this hurts, when he said he's been with the company for 14 years.
I was like, damn, half my life, my nigga? Damn.
Bruh. That says something. That this wasn't like some malicious shit.
Yeah.
Like,
honestly, I think Vince knows, like, deep down inside, like, Vince, Trips, the higher ups, they know that certain people that release is going to be good. Like, Vince knew that Trips and Vince knew that Drew McIntyre was going to be good. He knew that Kurt Angle was going to be good. He knew that certain people was going to be good if he released them, and he always bring them back to make more money with them. Because right now, once Heath Slater could come back, the amount of money he could make with WWE.
The amount of money Heath Slater can make on the indies, though, low key, is crazy.
Exactly. He can make a Joey Ryan. Hold on. Versus Heath Slater. Oh my gosh.
Too bad Joey. Well, no, Joey can still do indies. So yeah, right. Never mind.
Hold on 1 second. Do y'all remember when Daniel Bryan was released by WWE the first time?
Yeah, for 2.5 seconds.
Money.
Hold on.
Money. He makes stupid money.
Hold on. Remember when he was like, "Thank you, Vince," because he's about to make a shit ton of money on the indies?
Yeah. Yep. And what Daniel Bryan did was open up his own school and on the West Coast and was still doing indies and still had a school. Like my man had revenue coming out the ass. But the last thing I will say about the Dark Side of the Ring episode, which is I thought was the funniest yet most disturbing thing, was when they talked about the girl funeral. And they said Jimmy Snuka came in with Buddy Rogers in a fucking t-shirt and shorts and flip-flops. What in the fuck? And then to top it all off, the icing on the cherry on top was he went to the casket and they had to get him off the casket. I said, wait, this nigga came to the funeral with shorts and flip-flops and couldn't get off the casket?
Yeah.
I said, that's guilty. That's guilty written all over that shit. I said, oh, no.
Listen. Coke and old school steroids? Nigga, you crazy.
That's
You're bananas. Steroids. Like, it's
old school steroids.
Crazy. I don't know what next week's episode is.
Me either.
But I'm going to look it up. But if you haven't, once again, those that are watching, if you have not watched the Dark Side of the Ring this week's episode of Jimmy Snuka, please do. And please know that it is one that's going to teach you everything about how to cover up a murder in wrestling. The end.
Oh, I finally saw All American.
You did? Okay. Sidebar. How do you? Come on.
Oh, man.
It's Dino Bravo. Dino Bravo.
Oh, that's what Zuka was talking about. That was really good. That's gonna be really good.
What is that? Dino Bravo. What is that? Who is that?
He's a Canadian. He's a Canadian wrestler, but he got killed by the mob.
Yeah.
Yeah, mad niggas be dying in wrestling, though. Damn.
Wow. So yeah.
But All American.
Spencer James, like every minute, like he has some kind of speech. Yo, Spencer James, man, like, you gonna share your gum? Share my gum. Got to think about Coop, my mom, Dylan, my dad, Shaw,
next episode is David Schultz. Then they're doing Herb Abrams in the UWF.
That's the one Zuko was talking about, that wrestling promotion.
Why?
That's the one to watch out for.
The Road Warriors and Owen Hart.
Oh shit, the War Warriors. Oh,
I want to see that.
Shit.
So, quick question: why you said watch out for the UWA?
Oh well, because Zuka like old school shit, so he be mad interested in like old school promotions and stuff like that. So that was the one he said he was the most interested in to find out about. But that's just that's what he likes. So first of all, this guy. So we watching WCW Thunder. Well, he's watching WCW 2000. Like he's doing Nitro, Thunder, and pay-per-view. I did 2 episodes of Thunder today with him. It is the most clusterfuck of a fuckery in wrestling that you will ever watch. Like you can see that was the beginning of the end.
I stopped watching WCW at 99, 2000.
But that's why he started watching it, because he stopped watching it in 90. I guess everyone started watching it in 99 except for me, because I was sitting here like, woo, boy, you wait until you get to Sold Out.
We still watch it on, like, there was a program that used to come on Saturdays. What was that called? Saturday Night Nitro, something like that?
Well, WCW Saturday Night used to come on, but that was more in the like 96, 97 time.
No. It was wrestling with that. It was like how backstage was. They used to report on wrestling.
It was a clip show. So we would watch that. I know what you're talking about. We used to watch that, but we stopped watching it for a while because it was so trash.
You remember that?
I feel like every single fan started watching after 99.
Because nobody talks about that fake piece that they have. Remember that fake piece that they have?
You said
that
what?
Other little fake wrestling thing. You don't remember? The guy was called Cool Dr. Money. You remember him?
No.
You remember? Oh my God.
No, the best thing right now. So the 2 episodes that we watched today, let me tell you, fucking remember what was his name?
Did Master P come back yet?
You said no. Fucking Midnight, that was with Harlem Heat, and fucking Stevie Ray slapjacked the both of them. I said, we Izuka lost our shit. Like, we died for like 5 minutes laughing at that shit. Like, we was like, what? It's just it's very interesting to watch old shit. Like that's
wait,
why
wait,
I
wait, wait,
encourage
wait,
everyone.
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did like Vince Russo strip everybody of their titles?
Not yet, because we only at the first 2 weeks of January 2000. That's why I
Okay,
had
so
to tell
what
him. I
Vince?
was like, "You wait until sold out, because then you really see the fuckery start."
Oh, that's when Russo stripped all the titles, right?
He did, and they did They did what I call the hot potato of titles because Brett was champion.
Everybody.
Didn't
Yeah.
understand why the fuck Brett was champion. Whatever. Brett was champion, and then Sid Vicious was champion, and they vacated the title like at least 4 times within the first 6 months of 2000. Like it was, it's a magical ride that we're on right now. So
honestly, I kind of like that. I kind of like the idea when somebody come in charge and he strips everybody of the title. Everybody has to earn their respect now in tournaments. I kind of like that.
Well, that's because that's a dangerous. That's a hard reset that you just don't want. Like, and then the icing on the cake is Terry Funk being commissioner.
He was commissioner?
Yes. Yo, Terry Funk was on the one episode of Thunder we watched 6 times. Like we counted it. Nigga came out 6 times. So silly.
Oh my God.
But anyway, let's wrap things up talking about this week in wrestling. Guys, what is one up, one down that you guys have for this week in wrestling?
Raw.
My biggest
Raw was it.
Yo, Raw was big dick status, man. It was like entertaining from beginning to end. I didn't go to nothing else. I legitimately watched it. Raw was very, very, very big dick status.
Well, do you want to tell the viewers and listeners why you feel that way?
It was just the pacing. You know, like they finally got the pacing right. And honestly, I think the one thing that would definitely, she got a fat butt. I think the one thing that would definitely improve
that's
wrestling
a real
in WWE.
thing to say, by the way.
I'm not like this, like, oh shoot.
You did though. Anyway. Anyway, I can't. Go ahead, finish what you were saying about Raw.
It was just very solid, you know. And one thing that I'll keep saying this. One takeaway I have to say that we keep to do this to like make them more like of a sport feel is they should actually stop taking more shots of the audience and focus on in-ring, how they have the cameras right now. Because I feel it's definitely helped with the pacing better, and it should actually let them talk more and talk trash to make it more realistic. Like, if a jobber getting beat up, oh, you know, I want to hear all of that, B. Like, I want to hear that, you know? Like, I want to hear that thing. Because like I said before, wrestling is the only combat sport where it could be more than 2 people in the ring. And it can have weapons. Come on, and it can beat up the ref. And they get interference. Come on, B. Come on, B.
Jesus. All right, and then what's your one down for this week?
Yo, the best ever street fight in AEW, that was a trash doodle match, man.
Did you just try to Millie Rock?
Yeah, I tried to, but then I lost myself. And
I was like, are you trying to Millie Rock?
Yeah, I can't Millie Rock on no block. Yeah, I'm terrible. Yeah.
Why was he so trash to you?
And Jon Moxley?
First of all, there was no real build up to that match anyway, so I was already confused on how the fuck Jack Swagger got a title shot.
Again, build-up was terrible. I give you that, man. Like, you know, like I give you that. You know, I give you this. You know, I give you. You see how I'm giving you on it? You see?
I take it.
But like somebody like Jon Moxley, the fight that he had with Omega, I was expecting to see that. You feel me? I feel like some cough on him and say that now you got the Rona, something like that. I don't know. It's extreme.
Coughing right now is the most extreme measure. Okay.
You know, I thought that, you know, Jon Moxley will come with like the flaming, you know, boombox of death. No, it was none of that. I was just like, this is whack.
Well, there you go. Sir Wilkins, one out, one down for this week in wrestling.
My up was, and it's been something that I really appreciate the build up for Killer Cross. I mean, they changed his name, but still.
What did they change it to?
I think it's like Can Cross or something like that. Starts with a K. I forgot what it is, but they changed it.
They could have called
licensing. Yeah,
Cross.
It's licensing. It's licensing.
It's the licensing thing. Yeah.
But I appreciate the little things they did building up to it. Like for instance, especially last week when you see him and his girlfriend in the car. But it's like a split scene.
I thought it was tripping. I saw it, but I was like, did I just see what I saw?
So you see them coming up because you know it's the next build of the next chapter. In now, since Johnny's gone, it brings him for Ciampa, and it's you appreciate those little things that were done.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, even going into when he said TikTok in his ear, I was like, oh.
Yeah. So like his time is up, and I enjoyed that. I didn't really watch AEW. I didn't get a chance to because I was more focused on NXT. Right. So I wanted to see what was going on with Ciampa and Gargano because that's my favorite feud of all time.
I don't know why. All right.
Raw was good in my opinion, and like I said, you give top guys the mic in an empty arena, promos are fire.
I'm not gonna hold you. I was kind of with the Seth shit on Raw. I was like, okay.
You know what I liked about Raw? What Seth did? He had like a cult leader type of feel of a cult leader that failed.
He built up his own like running, like it was ridiculous. Yeah,
and it was like he has to do something now for his followers and shit, and he has them. Most of them are gone. Like fucking Buddy's isn't Buddy like in Australia?
No,
Buddy's is in the
cruiserweight.
No, he's in the Money in the Bank tournament.
Yes.
MVP too. MVP.
Oh! Just to speak on that, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm hyped.
I got OD hype when I saw MVP in that.
Yeah, I'll just say MVP.
Because it's gonna give Apollo a rub. Now, this is another silver lining in this whole COVID-19 situation in pro wrestling, especially in WWE. Certain guys are getting a chance to shine.
Absolutely.
And it's going to give them a better shot. Now you have your chance. Show out.
Like if you don't make yourself stand out during COVID-19 right now in wrestling, then you're doing it wrong. Then you're not meant for the business. Like at this point, I just feel like you're doing it all wrong.
I agree with you. Like I never agree with you and my brother. It's just listen. You could actually sit at home and cry, complain, be depressed, and let all this get to you, or you go out here and make the best of the situation. God won't put you through something that none of us can handle at this point.
Listen. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. It's easier said than done because we've all been in situations where it's almost impossible to get out. Like, I don't want to always say that. When people's like, oh, it's a bad situation. Listen, everybody's different. But the ones who get a chance to perform right now, they're getting a chance. Austin Theory's one of the youngest people to ever perform at WrestleMania.
Hello. Yeah. Like, let's talk about where Austin Theory was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And evolved. And he not only participated in WrestleMania, not only is now a part of some like makeshift stable that Zelina Vega's headlining.
Come on, man.
Like, come on.
So yeah,
and look at Vega. Paul Heyman now have more time to groom her to be that ultimate heel manager. Imagine the boo she's about to get when these four of them will come out as a unit, a dominant woman of color out here leading men to the charge.
By the way, that's from that amazing red bloodline.
Oh Lord, here we go. Cheap plug.
The bloodline.
let's just shout out the greatness.
Sir Wilkins, what's your one down for this week?
AEW as a whole, I didn't like what them building up to matches. Now, granted, I didn't watch the matches, but when I saw the card, I was like, when did this happen? Like, when did we do this?
They gave one video package last week with Jack Swagger and Dean Ambrose. And I was still like confused on how the fuck Jack Swagger got a title shot. Like, where did that happen?
Honestly, one person who would definitely deserve a title shot, I would respect if it was more out of nowhere, Santana.
No.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
No, because
it
like
would make sense.
Yeah, like that's the one that you could say that you could eat that one and go, oh, all right, cool. You could say, all right, cool, for revenge for his eye. That one can make more sense of because they have prior interaction with each other. So it's just retelling an older story.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
I get what you're saying on that one. It makes sense. I mean, Jack came out of nowhere, did that whole thing. I'm not a huge fan of it. I gotta actually watch it tonight to see how the matches look.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the actual from when I saw the card and everything. I know that they filmed a bunch of shit pre like
and that's
whatever.
Actually, and I feel like that could be more careless than helpful because now you're just throwing a whole bunch of stuff together and then you get times where like how last night it doesn't make sense and you're confused and you're like, how does this work? And then let's say 2 weeks from now you'll get something, you'll be like, oh, okay, that's a little bit better, and then the next 2 weeks you're like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, I just feel like throwing everything all together because, and I understand because of the time constraint and once again the stay-at-home measures because they were recording in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And Atlanta got shut down about a week ago, so
they can record now.
Right, but they ended up recording stuff all the way at least through the middle of May.
Yeah, it's a Double or Nothing. Yeah, honestly,
right. Which they're still doing, by the way. If you do not know, they are still doing Double or Nothing with no audience on pay-per-view. However,
where?
I don't know. It's not in Vegas. So, from what I understand, they're still doing Double or Nothing. It's going to be a televised, like not with a no audience type of thing, kind of like how Money in the Bank's going to be.
Yeah, but it's going to be on pay-per-view.
But it's going to be on pay-per-view, I believe. So, and I tell you, I'm not paying $70 for that shit.
But let me rewind this. Hold on. Let's rewind this. Let's rewind this before we go. The whole industry was giving WWE shit for putting on WrestleMania.
Hello.
Keep the same energy.
And now you're putting
like in his lamp.
But now you're doing Double or Nothing.
People want to pick and choose. I need everyone to keep the same energy. Like, everybody sat here for the past week and complained about how Vince found a way to become essential. Be fucking thankful. These people still have a job.
But hold on.
And now everybody in America in wrestling, if they want to run a show, they can run a show. Like, if they want somehow make some kind of deal, yo.
Because AEW, don't forget, AEW's in Florida. AEW's in Florida.
Exactly.
Yeah, in Jacksonville.
Hold up. You see, I don't know if you guys know this, but they try to have boxing in the Performance Center. So
that's hilarious.
Again, say what you may say about Vince, but if this works, you will have a lot of boxing events that can keep on going at the Performance Center. Hey, if it works, Vince can test out the new WWE network and have some of these indie shows that he banged with, have their shows at the Performance Center and see how people like them. Think about it. Everybody will make money in Florida. Think about it. That's a great way to test out the new format for WWE Network.
But
everybody going to eat hand in hand. Like, listen. I'm just saying.
But I think what Vince is doing is definitely keeping the business afloat. And I think at the end of the day, we should be appreciative of, because people are going to say, well, people are endangering in their lives. There are people that go to work every day, like, that are endangering. Every time you step outside, you could be endangering your life.
Yeah.
So you have to just be mindful of, they have different protocols that they're doing. They're checking temperatures. They have doctors there. They have things to kind of keep things, as safe as possible. And you have everybody was in a big hoopla about Roman not doing Mania. That was Roman's choice. He has a weakened immune system. It made sense. No one's forcing him. No one's telling him he's a bad guy for choosing his health over
But to
his
some
job.
people, it was a work.
No, now, and I'm the queen of saying something's a work.
Yeah, I know.
And that was not it. That ain't
it.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Just like
before we
Edge is a
go-
work too, right?
Oh, that's a different story for a different day. So I'll give my one-up down before we do sign off. My one-up is Patrick and Finn Balor on NXT this week. Let me tell you, when Patrick told him pick me up next week, I said, "Oh, he is the ultimate storyteller," and he out here trolling this nigga on social media. He posted a picture of what's her name, Kathy Kelly, on his Twitter. I said, "Yo, Velveteen Dream is the ultimate person to play mind games. Like, it is. I can appreciate that shit because it is storytelling 101 at its finest."
Can you imagine Velveteen Dream versus Bray Wyatt? Oh,
Yo, how about Velveteen Dream versus Bray in that Fire Funhouse shit? Shit is wild. My one down. It wasn't the down. No, it's not. I don't have a down. But my one thing I had posted on our Facebook group is the Ultimate Jobber was on Impact. I watched Impact this week, and I was thoroughly
70 years old, bro.
70 years old, still fucking working. You hear me?
Okay. We have him on the show.
Shout out to Mike Jackson from the South. He's an Alabama icon.
Wait a minute, do they have an app?
Who has an app?
For to watch Impact. Do they have an app?
Yeah.
No, well, I have access. So I have the channel that Impact comes on.
Impact has an app, though. Impact has an app.
Impact has Impact Plus where you can watch shit.
I'm not paying for Impact Plus. How much is access? Okay, you know how MTV had an app? You have a cable provider, you can sign in, this, that, and third, you can watch it.
It's not the same.
No, it's not the same. So I have Sling TV, and one of the channels of Sling is I have access.
I know. All right, well,
so I thoroughly was intrigued by Impact this week. They have their pay-per-view Rebellion. They're doing 2 nights.
Wait, Rebellion. That's a new. That's new
long story short, Rebellion was actually it was their next pay-per-view. It actually was supposed to be here in New York at Terminal 5. But because of the wonderful world that we're living in right now, they are unable to do it there. But they are doing 2 nights. So next Tuesday and the following Tuesday will be Rebellion Night 1, Night 2. And Night 1's main event is Ken Shamrock versus Sami Callihan.
That's dope.
Let's talk about it.
That's
the
dope.
world greatest man versus the world's most
and the build
man.
up that they've been and that's why Impact is like silent but deadly, because the build up they've been doing with Sammy and fucking Ken Shamrock is hilarious.
I gotta watch it now.
And then they have I think that girl named Kylie Ray, the girl that was on Battle Club that got signed to Impact.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
The Pokemon chick. She's facing Kiera Hogan Night 1 on Rebellion.
Oh, that's dope.
So Impact, we making some moves, and it's just unfortunate because not everybody has access, no pun intended.
Yeah.
But I highly recommend I highly recommend people to watch clips if you can of Impact. They're doing some things that I think are really cool.
I'm gonna catch some once you guys get off the phone. Wow. Once we get off the podcast, I'm trying to watch some Impact probably as I'm cooking. Yeah.
Oh, what you making tonight?
I'm gonna make pork chops, homemade mashed potatoes, broccoli rice, and with some plantains.
Oh, you got mad starch on that plate. Mad starch. Because I've been trying to eat.
But he out here cooking for 10 people.
I know how to cook. Yeah, I love cooking.
Heard you, ladies. He knows how to cook.
No.
Anything last words before we do sign off, gentlemen? That looks like a solid no.
All right, guys. I'll see you guys.
Wait.
What?
Hold up. Any suggestions of what people should watch? You know, let's do that.
Like for wrestling or in general?
Anything.
Well, if you want to take the voyage with me, we're watching 2000 WCW shit. So if you want to take that nose dive into that, you can do that. There's also a new episode of the Broken Skull podcast with Ric Flair in Austin that I still have to watch.
Insecure.
Definitely we're gonna do a weekly recap of Insecure because that is my shit. Oh, ladies, you can watch Sisters on BET every Wednesday. I was watching it before y'all called me. The episode Matthew keep talking to me about, and I'm like, bro, I'm not there yet. It's a really good show. What else am I watching? That's about it, I think.
Anyone want drops? Anyone want to do some drops or anything?
No, not really. No. Those that are watching, look out on our Instagram, the boys, and I'll pop in a time or two. We're each gonna take, turns and go live and interact with everyone during this time, which is really important, not only for us, but for those that have always supported the Jobber Tears podcast. I think, for now that we know we really are stuck for another month, I think me and the boys are gonna just try to focus on different shows and maybe getting some, special guests on for the next month. So stay tuned for that.
I guess with me, look out for Monday and Tuesdays. We got the Mrblacc show. I have many various guests, many different walks of life.
Who was the guy that was on this week?
Oh, that's my son KJ Clemente. He's a rapper from Jersey. He's a huge wrestling fan. He's been a supporter since day one. Basically, it's a different variety show. If you love wrestling, I don't care what you're walking like. You're doing something. You could be a porn star. I'm interviewing you about wrestling in your life.
Okay. Well, that's a cheap plug. Sir Wilkins, any last words?
Again, everything is good, man. Tuesdays, sometimes Sundays, the Mrblacc show, 8 p.m. Show.
Look at this one. It's a superstar in the making. All right. Well, as always, I'm Janelle from HR here with Sir Wilkins and Mrblacc. We thank you guys for tuning in. #Black Excellence. #we're out.
I was over, got the hands in motion. If you go with rolling, no need to focus. Traveling states and over oceans, you gotta wait till your coast chosen. Trying to have lines outside the show like Harry Potter releases at Barnes & Noble.